We've all got into power struggles at one time or another. Maybe a power struggle with one of our kids or with a coworker. So here's a few suggestions on how to manage some of the most common power struggles that we run into. Number one, don't sweat the details. Oftentimes when someone wants to engage us, let's say a child, they will make a statement and they will give some other detail. So for example, if we say, oh, it's a beautiful sunny day, they may say it's cloudy because there's one cloud. And we can then get lost in that detail of, is it cloudy or is it not? What does it mean? Or a parent may say, the kid was in the street, and the kid says, I only had my toe on the cement. Okay, again, to avoid those power struggles, don't get into the details. Just go, because what matters is that maybe you didn't want that child to have their toe in the street. So don't get lost in the details and argue the details. Stick to the main purpose. Hit and go. So sometimes people, again, like to argue, and let's use children again. So if you walk by and say, Johnny, nice drawing, and they want to feel powerful and in control, they might rip it up and look at your reaction. So instead, just point and say, nice picture, Johnny, and keep walking. If they rip it up, just keep walking. Therefore, they don't have that power of the reaction. So the hit and go is really saying what you need to and going before you have a chance to have an emotional reaction to their response. 3, stay focused. Oftentimes when someone knows that they're losing an argument, etc., they will bring up something new. So maybe you are talking with your spouse and you are arguing about what project you're going to do on Saturday. And then they bring up something that happened 2 weeks ago. Okay, stay focused and say, we're not talking about that right now. Well, we're talking about this. We'll get to that later. So stay focused. Number 4, choices and consequences. Again, if we've got a child, for example, who continues to argue back and forth, why do I have to go to bed now, or why can't I have that cookie? Sometimes we just need to stop and say, this is the expectation, here's the consequence. Or if we are in a supervisory role and we are talking to someone and they continue to argue why something should or shouldn't be done, if we've heard from them and listened to what they have to say, we may need to just say, this is the way it's going to be done, and this is the consequence if it doesn't. Because I said so. So that goes with the last one. Sometimes it's our preference. So when we tell our child, you can't go with your friend right now, we may not have a really good reason, except it's just inconvenient for us right then, or we don't want them to. Okay, so they may argue back and forth, but really, sometimes it's okay to say, because I said so, if we are in an authoritative kind of role or in some kind of oversight. Number 6, agree to disagree and walk away. Sometimes no matter what, we are not going to come to the same conclusion. Maybe it's about politics or religion or, how we do the dishes. Okay? So sometimes we just need to say, okay, we just aren't going to agree on this. Now, if the other person is real aggressive and just keeps following us around or won't let it go, we may need to walk away. We may need to leave the house. We may need to go into the bedroom or bathroom and shut the door. Take a time out and disengage. Finally, assess your audience. Oftentimes when we are looking and we're with someone who's just, no matter how many facts we give them, they're just not going to hear those facts. Well, then it doesn't do any good to argue with them. All it's going to do is turn into an argument that no one's going to win. So sometimes we have to decide, is it really worth bringing it up or making a stand on this particular issue with that particular person at that particular time? Hopefully these tips are helpful today. Thanks.